Yo, everybody! Welcome back to Sakura Spirit. Let's pick up where we left off, eh? Ellipses. 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 The rays of sunlight that glared into my face stirred me back to consciousness. A groan of annoyance leaving my mouth while I tried to get back onto my feet. I felt a bit dizzy. The first thing I noticed was that I was no longer within the shrine. Rather, it looked like the forest that was surrounding the dojo. Of course, my first thought was to look around to see if I could find the same girl from before, but not a trace of her presence had lingered behind. To make things even more curious, the old, worn-down path that I had followed amidst the trees was better maintained than I remember. Maybe I should head home. The thought was cut short when the sound of several female voices came from nearby. "Get back here, Hikage! Stop them at once!" "Just what exactly do you think I'm doing? I'm chasing them! I'm trying to stop them!"
Yeah. I think they spotted what's missing, Oni-sama.
Keep running, Chibiko, and we just might escape. Just when I thought this day couldn't get any weirder, there came the sound of heavy footfalls from the forest nearby. This early, huh? Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that sink in. Please be my waifu, I'm sorry. Okay, let's get on with it. This is great. What in the world is going on here? Just a little bit away from the path I was walking on, I saw a pair of girls being chased by another pair of girls. However, there were two things I noticed that didn't make any sense for me. The first detail was that the girls being chased had the ears and tails of a fox, and the other being that the girls doing the chasing were armed with a katana and a naginata. Conniving Kitsune, come back here at once. Return what you stole immediately. Give me back my panties! Really? Hikage! How could you blurt out something like that?
Panties! Oh no. Help save us from the rampaging women! Hee.
While the girls had run away, seemingly into the direction the shrine was located at, I couldn't help but find myself struggling with the decision to just leave them be. While I didn't know what in the world was going on, the fact that two of the girls were armed with rather realistic-looking props, for surely they couldn't be real. I couldn't call myself a hero if I'd let such a scene go by without acting. I'm so gonna regret this. Mumbling in annoyance, I started chasing after the girls. Hikage, go around to the left. Right.
Left? Why do you always undermine me? Oh, Kami, I wasn't saying right. I was... You know what? Never mind. Just run after them.
While I was chasing after the girls, I noticed the trees seemingly were getting a little bit denser, making it more difficult to navigate along the path.
Oni-sama, I don't think I can run much more. I'm starting to get a little...
Just a little longer, Mako-chan. We're almost...
Mako, not a headache. Not now. Sorry, Oni-sama.
Scissor attack! I arrived just in time to find a scene straight from an action movie. The fox girl with the blonde hair had collapsed, seemingly being held up in her companion's lap. The two armed girls are approaching them, almost unmistakably about with killing instincts running amok. Any martial artist could feel that. Those two girls were going to be in for a beating if I didn't stop them. We've got you now, thieves! I'm gonna personally drag your sorry buds back into town and have you both stalked! Maybe I'll even see how you feel running around without any undies on.
Yeah! Although I must admit, having a breeze down there does feel kind of nice. Keeps me feeling fresh and a little bit tingly. What?
Oh, please get her back. Thank you.
Hikage? Goodness, you have no shame, do you? This isn't about your nethers. This is about panties and bras. Stolen!
Human beings must be brought to justice!
Get out of here, Arceus.
Honey-sama, it hurts. My head hurts. Shh, it's going to be okay, Chibiko. Hey, you guards, if you're so desperate to have your underwear back, then here, catch. Stop right there. However, before I was able to interrupt the conversation, the silver-haired fox girl tossed a pair of objects into the air. It seemed whatever the two samurai girls were flustered by the tossed projectile. A projectile whose trajectory was heading straight to my face. Ah! I'm blinded! Who the hell tosses up? Peeling off the projectiles from my face, I raised them slightly into the air, like a professor examining an important sample, while at the same time the fox girls made their escape. A pink bra and lacy black panties. I'm dead. Oh boy, I just knew this wasn't gonna end up well. Hell, man, we all knew. Ah, you there! Ah, you there! Are you in cahoots with these crafty kitsune? Give those back immediately. Those are evidence of a crime, and not for anyone else to touch. Drop the panties right now! I'm innocent until proven guilty. One of the golden rules of court. Now stop pointing those weapons at me so I can hand over your undies without being turned into kebab. What? No, stop! Shut up! Just drop the evidence and walk away. I am Tsukino Mio, a chief of the village guards, and I am ordering you to drop what you're holding right now. I don't know any village guards, and I seriously doubt a cop will go around dressed like that and wielding a katana. More importantly, the ground here is muddy and dirty. You're sure I should drop the evidence? I mean, I could, Yeah! Before I could react, the pink-haired woman lunged towards me. That's more red, mate. Towards me, the spike of her naginata aiming for my gut. My reflexes caught just in time, and I was able to palm away the spears that sailed through the air. I struck upwards on the wooden shaft of the weapon, sending it up into the air and unbalancing the woman. Narumi, I know this.
Narumi, I did not order you to attack.
Fine, I'll give them back. Geez, just my luck to find the girls with weapons to be this soon the other ones. Deciding to extend the hand that held the girls, undies, I tried to hand them over, something that I would soon end up regretting. Nah, thinking I'd fall for something so simple. Fool, you may have foiled me once, but not twice. The woman swung a weapon wide, arcing the thick wooden pole to my side before I could dodge. She then lunged forward and grabbed me tightly, pulling my arms around behind my back, leaving me with sore ribs and in a prone position. Can't talk. I could have fought back, but figured it would only lead to more fighting and possibly being stabbed. No thanks. Which I could do without, so I remained passive. The sword-wielding girl stepped forwards and grabbed the silky underwear from my hand triumphantly. This is hard to read. I guess I really should be more careful with who I'm talking about. Your methods might be crude, but they get results. Hikage, bind his wrists. We'll bring him in for questioning. He probably know where those pesky thieves have been hiding. Right. And people wonder why criminals would resist all at all costs. I mumbled weakly while I watched the girls with the naginata tie my wrists together with some rope she had concealed somewhere. I hope it was meant for actual criminals, and soon felt myself dragged by the duo toward the direction of the city. Surely once we arrive at the city, you two will stop this role-playing of yours and let me go home, right? As much as I look to fool around, I got more important things to do. The city? Ha! We're not taking you all that way. You'll spend the day in the village cells, thief. Who you calling a thief? I'm a victim. First they toss undies in my face, then I had to deal with physical abuse, and now even slander? Besides, there's no village around these parts. It's the city, you know, Tsukino Toshi. Silence, Ikage. If he speaks again, before we get to the village, you have my permission to knock him unconscious.
Tsundere tyrant.
That's funny. And that's how I was on my way to the jail cell, cuffed and dragged by two girls that I started to suspect were pretty much crazy in the head. Ooh. When we left the forest behind us, the first thought that filled my mind was panic. The city I had lived in my whole life, it was gone. You gotta be kidding me! If I wasn't in Tsukino Toshi, then where the hell did my hometown disappear to? Hey, no talking! Come on, I don't want to bop you that much. Kinda. Maybe a punch or two. I just want to know how the heck you blocked my strike so easily. Your attack had a lot of power behind it, but it was a little bit predictable. Just the right movement, enough pressure behind a counter, and that was the result you saw. But anyway, let me play along for a bit. Where in the world are we? This clearly isn't my hometown. I mean, the buildings look more like they could be in some sort of classic samurai movie. Huh? What the heck is a movie? This is Harumaru. It's been here for years. Hikage, I thought I told you to silence him if he spoke. Actually, you told me that I could do it, but you didn't tell me that I had to. Must be tough being your subordinate. Be silent or I will silence you for good. This time it seemed to not be an ideal threat, for the girl unsheathed her katana as it rested the tip of the blade against my throat. I already started to regret having played the hero earlier. Hopefully there would be someone with more common sense in the village. Several minutes later. Ellipses. 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 I soon found myself confined in a small room. The stern-looking tsundere tyrant glaring down at me while the other girl, seemingly called Narumi, had at least softened up a little. From what I had gathered during the conversation, they had called the village elder to help oversee my questioning. What purpose did these thefts have? Are you just some perverted guy who gets off sniffing girls' undies? I thought to cut them off. I already told you I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Not to mention, anything worn by you would likely smell burnt or taste sour. I couldn't see too well from the cell where they had put me, but I was almost certain I could hear Narumi laughing nearby.
Tsukino Dono, please calm down. Please calm down.
Call, really?
Please calm down. You brought him in to learn the reason behind his presence in the forest, right?
That is correct, Hayate-san. I believe he was working with the Kitsune to steal pennies and other underlings.
Objection!
Huh? What are you objecting to, sir?
The evidence surrounding the defendant's accusation is fabricated. Narumi-san, could you please answer this question for the judge? Was the defendant, aka myself, anywhere near the Kitsune while you two were chasing them?
Hold it!
Just who are you calling judge here? Stop shouting or I will strike you down. Hey, Mio-san, maybe the whole angry accusation thing isn't working. This guy is clearly not a bandit, nor a threat. We could just ask him why he was up there in the woods. If he has a valid reason, then sure. If not, then he's a panty thief, and we'll use him as a punching bag out in the yard. Finally, in here I thought this was about to become a turnabout case. I sighed deeply, partly amused at how, despite the serious situation, I was able to remain calm by acting like several characters I've seen in movies or games I played before. Phoenix Wright. As long as I wouldn't become an ace prisoner, things would hopefully end up well.
A wise idea, Narumi-chan. How about you start by giving us your name?
Gushigen Takahiro.
So why were you inside the forest while our village guards were chasing a pair of thieves?
I'm not entirely sure myself. One moment I was praying at a shrine hidden inside the forest, and the next moment I know some weird girls start talking to me? That don't make sense. Fix your writing, people!
A girl?
Yes, a girl with horns and scaled tail. I know it sounds odd, but I could have sworn I saw her before I fainted, and then I woke up inside the forest.
Tsukino Dono. Narumi-chan, do you two recall the stories behind the shrine near our village?
If I sound racist, I am very sorry. I'm just trying to do voices. I really am. So I apologize to anybody like that, but I'm not probably the first one who's done that. Forgive me, Hayata-san. I do not recall. I know you said it was a place of high spiritual energy, a sacred place, but I can't remember everything. Sorry, Oji-san.
That shrine belongs to Suriori, a powerful spirit that has watched over our village for as long as we can remember. There's a reason why, unlike the Kitsune, we tend to avoid going too deep into the forest.
I still think those pests would be gone for good if you just let me go in and find their home. Probably some damp cave on the hill, or a dilapidated old wooden house.
Humans and spirits rarely mingle well, even if they meet with good intentions. The fact that this lad says that he saw a spirit, there is a chance he was there for a reason. Not to mention, did you take a good look at him yet? He seems disoriented, almost out of this world.
He did seem to be talking gibberish. He claimed to be from a city near here, but there's nothing like that for miles around. He was also talking about something weird called a movie, and he knows martial moves that I've never seen, ever. I'd never even seen before. He is still a pervert. I am not a pervert. A guy of my age is innocently curious. It's perfectly natural. Besides, if you're talking about the panties, they were tossed into my face. I had nothing to do with them, Sundere tyrant. What did you just call me? I ought to smash you to pieces, you brat! Oh wait, now that I think about it, those two Kitsune did look like they were just about to abandoning the panties. But, Oji-san, what does this all mean?
I'm not certain. However, I believe it's unlikely that he's working with the Kitsune. Still, I have never heard about a human meeting a spirit like Suyuri. I would almost be bold enough to declare him as someone who isn't from our world.
Wait, you're trying to say that I'm in a different world now?
That would be the most logical explanation.
But I've got an important match to take part in 2 weeks from now.
Well, none of us have ever experienced a situation like this before. So we'll have to think about how to deal with you, or even if it's possible to get you back to your world.
In the meantime, a stay in the cell for a few hours will not hurt him. He did assault one of our village guards, and he resisted arrest. He can stay here until he rots for all I care, but I suspect the elder will wish to talk with you once you are all done here. Hikage, I am going for a wash. I suggest you do the same. I would take offense at that, implying that I stink, but that was a hell of a run. Those fox girls can run fast. I still want to know more about those techniques. Takahiro-san, if you do happen to stick around, I might want to go a few rounds with you. Not that I'll be able to go anywhere else for the time being.
It's only for a few hours, so we can discuss how to deal with you. Obviously, one like yourself would raise quite some questions among the villagers, so we need to convince them first that you're no threat.
And that was how I found myself stuck in a jail cell, while the guards responsible for my situation decided to leave me be within my cell. What misfortune, as if being sent to a different world wasn't bad enough. I'm not stuck in a jail with I'm now stuck in a jail with my only company being a pair of beautiful, magnificent, majestic Kitsune sisters, you lucky boy. A pair of beautiful... Wait a second.
Yahoo! Hi there, Panty boy.
As I watched a familiar face appear to the top of my cell, a blonde woman with golden eyes. As I watched, she flipped over and landed in front of the cell, waving her hands at me. From the side of the cell, the other one appeared, a wry grin on her face. Ah, it's the Undies Archer. If you come to reclaim your hostages, they are already back where they belong.
No, we saw the guards go into the pool. and swipe the maiden silk again. See?
At that, she pulled out a pair of lacy silken underwear from her sleeve and stretched it with her thumbs, showing off her panty prize to me. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. This is the fucking etchy, I promise you that. You came back all the way to this village to snatch their underwear again. Besides, I wouldn't call one of them a maiden. The Sundir tyrant doesn't fit that bill at all. The cutie with the katana? You would be quite surprised, actually. I happen to believe that she has not even felt her own touch, let alone anyone else. She seems to be far too uptight for that. As for coming back to the village, we have a debt to settle. Let's not wander into that subject. I can still imagine her katana lingering near my throat. I smiled weakly while trying to think about what the Kitsune mentioned at the end of their statement. I'm not sure what this debt of yours might be. I do know that you two best get out of here before those two return. You two don't seem to be on friendly terms with the samurai girls.
Wait. If he doesn't know about the debt, then we can just run, Oni-sama.
Mako, this is not how we do things. Young man, your actions allowed us to escape our situation without harm. It places us in a debt, for which we are now repaying you. Mako, do the magic.
Hi.
The younger girl walked forwards and placed her hands upon the cage's lock. She began mumbling something that I couldn't even begin to understand, and her hands started glowing brightly. Being sent to a different world, girls wielding weapons, now fox girls using magic? Next on the list, I'm going to find a talkative magical sword and be destined to save the world. Excalibur. Still, I was curious to see what this magic would do to the lock keeping me imprisoned. The glow flared for a moment before fading. There was a hiss and then a sizzle as the lock dripped to the floor, melted from the cage by the magical light. Well done, Mako-chan. You did very well. Just relax now. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be most surprised about. The fact that girls just melted a steel lock, or that I'm starting to accept